to a video because this is so technically it's a live stream. Whoever's watching it right now, you're lucky to watch it. But once it goes up as a video, basically it's supposed to be a video of our honest reviews of Cyberpunk 2077. Angel, which is also Tianchi, is gonna be talking about the PS4 base version, and I'm gonna be talking about the PS4 Pro version. We're gonna be talking about the good. We're also gonna be talking about all the bad, and we're also gonna be talking about other stuff that have happened after everything that's already came out, after it's already been launched, and stuff like that. So, if you want to go first, Angel, what's been good for you with Cyberpunk, and then I'll go what's been good with me and stuff. Might end up having the same conclusion, but you know.
Well, what's been good is just it's fun. That's all all I know it is. Yes, it's to be. I know it's supposed to be meeting better expectations. Oh. But honestly, I wasn't expecting much. This is supposed to be a new gen game. From the very beginning, it was supposed to be a new gen game.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, well, fuck it. I'm still getting a badass game. I can't really talk about the graphics just because I'm the kind of guy who go back to my PlayStation 1 and then play that. And we all know the graphics of the PlayStation 1.
True.
And they're not the best. They're not the best.
It
So
happens.
graphic-wise, I can't say anything about it just because I'm not that kind of guy. But gaming-wise, there's so much in the game. Like, we're getting so much for an old gen. We're getting we're jam-packed with all this kind of shit. All this happening on the screen is a lot to handle for PS4. We all know this. So it's not gonna play the best. I get it. And the glitches to me, there hasn't. The glitches and the bugs hasn't been major to me because there hasn't been one that directly affects my gameplay. There hasn't been one that prevents me from doing a mission, from selling something or anything. It hasn't been that bad for me. Maybe other people, just not my. And my PlayStation's not that new. Mine's one of the old gen. One of the very first ones coming out and we all know the PlayStation 4's first gen always come out with bugs. But I'm still handling the game. There's nothing for me to complain about.
That
the
is
bugs
true.
are funny. The bugs are funny to me. They're not that groundbreaking, but they're funny.
True.
And I just don't get why people compare this to other games. GTA 5 is nothing even close to this. GTA 5 is real life. GTA 5 is set in current fucking timeline. This isn't a fucking future. We got cars flying. We got optic nerve systems that can tell shit. That's how different this game is. It's not supposed to be like GTA 5. It's not supposed to be like any other game. It was trying to reach the same goals as Ghost of Tsushima, but it's in its own way. And I feel like it's done its job as best as it could.
That is true. And I think so. My point of view on the game is pretty much almost the exact same way. It's a little bit different. Like, I enjoy the game from just like, and what's funny is that I haven't really been playing a lot of the main story. That's what's also funny is that I've been venturing out in the game, figuring out certain different things, buying certain different things. You know, yeah, the visuals aren't 100% good. Like, the visuals of the game, when you're just sitting still, dude, you can take everything in, like,
shit.
Yes. Like, compared to how many people are in the game, like, compared to, you can compare it to GTA a little bit because how many, like, NPCs they have in the game compared to GTA, you can actually interact with every NPC. They'll give you, like, shut the fuck up, or they'll give you, like, be quiet, or they'll tell you, like, oh, how you doing? I've been doing good, or, you know what I mean, like, just little sentences here and there. Like, and then how many cars are on the, you know, in the map at once. Like, when you're driving, obviously it'll be a little bit slower, but the game, ever since it dropped, to me, it's been 100% good. Like, yes, there's little sides here and there. You know, Angel's talking on base PS4.
Oh, yeah, by the way, guys, I'm on PS4. Hey,
yeah.
Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the
And
stream.
I'm also talking on PS4 Pro. And I mean, you know, the game itself, and before we get into, way before we get into like, the bad stuff, I just want to say this: the game is good. They've showed so many different like skills tree, like the skill tree. I can
It's
show this.
fucking
Yes,
ridiculous.
I'll show you this right now. Right. So if you go to your character and you click on how, just you see these 6 different, like what, 3, 4, 5 different skill trees in the game.
There's supposed to be another one, but it's corrupted.
Yeah, there's another one, but I think it's coming for DLC. I think that's what they're going to be saving it for. But there's,
This shit looks
yeah, there's these 5 different skill trees. On these 5 different skill trees, within them, some of them have 3 other skills trees, some of them have 2. And like it's insane how much they put into the game, how much detail, how much love they put into the game, because every single story, in a sense, is like its own little story with inside the main story, inside the side story. And the main story can end up being 2, depending on how long you end up taking on it. It could end up being an hour to 2 hours long just for a main quest. On a side quest can end up being even the same amount, if not more, depending on how you're playing it. And they also have, like, within the world right now, they have, if you go to the map, they have all these yellow, like, little markers on the map. Those are also side quests, side missions that you can do. There's these blue ones that you can do, which are like cop. You can get your street cred up and stuff. Like, the game, the way it's shown, the weapons, the fighting skill, everything in the game is good. Now, this is where we come down to what's the bad in the game. You want to go first, Angel, or do you want me?
Well, you go first because you have the pro version of it.
So on the PS4 Pro,
to
I know that it's going to be different on base gen, on base console, but on the PS4 Pro, the only bads I've seen, and I know a lot of other people have seen way worse. There is, there've been some bugs where I felt where, my person ended up getting launched like a few feet away, or like 10 feet away from like somewhere I was trying to jump over, or go over a certain wall or whatever, and I was launched certain far bits. There has been other bugs where other people have witnessed, they tried to change their the radio station, and their car went flying towards a building or whatever. I never felt that bug. There is bugs where I saw, where I've heard that, certain characters T-posed, NPCs would end up following you from a certain like mission to another mission. They keep on following you throughout the whole game. Like, that's just happened to other people, but that actually hasn't happened to me. What's funny to me, like, the main thing I've only felt is visual effects, right? Like, the stuttering in certain, like if you really drive in the game, you do see, like, certain things, get out of focus, and, some of the visuals start, you have to wait a bit before, like, some of the visuals come back into effect or whatever. But with the latest like updates that they've done, which is 1.05 and 1.06, like with some of the visuals that some of the updates that they've already done, it does fix some of it, but not 100%. It's not going to happen until like February, where they're going to have the game hopefully fixed and a lot better. There is, the visual sides of stuff. There is, certain stutters. There is sometimes, I think the biggest thing where I had, like, which is the game crashed. It went blue screen, where I had that like 6 or 7 times within the first 2 weeks. Now, guarantee that was within, like, compared to other people that had it maybe 30 or 40 times within the span of the first week of it, or the first couple days of it coming out. Now, it's crazy on how much, we expected the game from when it first started. Obviously, this was CD Projekt Red's kind of fault, which were they, announced, when they announced the game was going to be coming out, they announced that, like, oh, we're going to be bringing this fully finished game. We're only going to be bringing out this finished game and nothing more, which they should have announced. Was just like, you can't expect that to actually happen when a lot of games, what they should have done was brought out PC version. In my opinion, what they should have done was held back on console version for like a couple months, brought out the PC version, which is the best version of all the versions that are out there of Cyberpunk. Now, it's crazy and how much feedback Cyberpunk has gotten and stuff like that. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the game is good. There is some bad, but it's not too bad. Like I think the katanas and stuff like that could have been a little bit better, like the knifing styles and stuff. When you're fighting with a knife, it is a little clunky here and there, but it still feels good. Like the fighting, everything feels good in its own different way. There is little different scenarios where it could have been a little bit better. Now, if you want to go into it, it's your turn.
My bad things about this game so far. So far, as much as I gotta complain, the stuttering. It's not annoying, but it happens way too often. And oh shit. What is it? Yeah. The other thing is the way you upgrade your equipment. I get it later on, you can fix it, but it sucks that the majority of the whole fucking game, you have to go dressing around like a clown because your stats are fucking just OP, but only when you dress like a clown. That is just something that's been annoying to me since day one, that RPG games have been doing that.
That is true.
But there's nothing that can be done. If they wanted to take that route, they took that route. That's their decision. But what else? Oh yeah, and this happens to everybody. PS4, PS4 5, Pro and 5. Is that I call it where you just lose your progress on your shit because the game says nah, we're not gonna do that anymore. You save too much. I'm not gonna handle it. I'm gonna corrupt all your information. That shit's utter annoying. Just because now you don't know when it's gonna happen. It warns you when it's gonna things to do to prevent it, but it'll still happen. Just today, I opened up the game saying, "Oh, your shit's been corrupted." So I don't even remember what I was before, but
APB to all NCPD
I started out somewhere else, and now I'm just like, oh, I guess this is my life now. I have to look through this bullshit. And that's kind of annoying. That's a big bug that shouldn't have happened even from day one. It should have not happened.
Present and wanted on 4 counts of first-degree murder.
But I don't know what to say. This game had good potential for people who like to complain a lot, especially people with good systems. Be like, oh, I paid a lot of money for this. Well, I got a good fucking setup. Why the hell do I have to suffer? Well, you suffer because people like to rush things. If this project were not to be announced for another year, even then it still wouldn't have 100% free of bugs. It's gonna be bugs regardless. People are still gonna complain like always, just because people will never be happy. I understand that's the best way to progress, is to make sure demands are met, but just nothing in life is ever 100%, because at some point it's still gonna have a bug. But if this game could have lasted another year in development, I guarantee you, this shit would have sold any game and any movie ever created.
It is true,
because it would have been fucking amazing.
It is
but
true.
The idiotic of these people announcing it way too fucking early. Way too fucking early.
I think they gave too many release dates.
If they wouldn't have announced it for another maybe couple months, it'd be like, oh, delay, oh, delay, oh, delay. But later on, and it wouldn't be as big as a problem, but they announced it too early and then gave too many delays, and that's when people started getting mad. People completely forgot about it. People weren't even mad.
True.
And so people started saying, oh, it's a delay too long again, oh, this and that. Oh, it's like, can't do nothing about it then.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's very, very interesting on what, like, how they, brought out the information in the game, because we found out 8 years into production, which was the start of, like, PS4 and stuff like that, the end of PS3, like, where, they were where they were starting to make Cyberpunk. They brought out the information on it, everything like that. Everybody was so happy because technically this is considered a board game. Like, there is a board game version of Cyberpunk that you can go out there play, like if it's what's that other one, Angel, that's like D&D. Cyberpunk has that type of board game where you can go out there, make a version of your own character, play it, and with a group of friends and stuff, and make your own world on and make your own storyline and stuff like that, like D&D. So that everybody was hyped up for this. Same thing, like, it's been getting comic book versions, other versions of different games that are in the same universe as Cyberpunk have been coming out. And when this game was announced, all the hype went towards it. Now, don't get me wrong. Let me put it this way. I love CD Projekt Red and what they've done with The Witcher 3 and what they've done with Cyberpunk. But can't deny that, in my personal preference, I think they were pressured into releasing the game because of, their leadership and stuff like that. Now, since we've already done talking about what's the good and what's the bad, now we're going to be talking about everything that's already happened with, like, press releases, people talking about the game, the bashing that's happened on the game, the loyalty that's been lost, the lawsuits that have been going out, everything like that. So this is what we're going to start getting into, all the big juicy tea moments. So, in my sense, this is where we're going to start off, right? So, we're going to start off with, at the beginning, when Cyberpunk first dropped, they did mess up before the game came out, right? Which was, they only allowed viewers, which people that were reviewing the game, only allowed them PC access codes, right? To basically only play the game on PC versions of the game, not base gen consoles, and not even, like, next gen consoles. That's the other thing where they messed up with a lot of reviews, and the backlash that they ended up receiving from that was pretty big. And it's very, how much backlash they've received because of the game is fucking overwhelming. Now, don't get me wrong, CD Projekt Red, it's not their devs' fault. And let me repeat that, it's not the devs' fault of creating the game. They're not the ones that should be receiving all the backlash, all the hurt, everything like that about the game, because they're the ones that are trying to fight for the game to be better before it was even brought out.
Okay. The way I'm going to put it in my perspective, guys, is think about it this way. If a car, let's say, not, oh shit, I can't say a single name because I'm going to get fucking trouble. Let's say a car is being made by Earth. I don't know, give it that fucking name. And the car comes out, looks nice, it promises you a lot of things, but then when it comes out, it's missing a lot of functions, or it causes too many accidents, and the people who are getting the damn punishment for all that, they'll be like, oh, it's the mechanic's fault, they didn't do it right. No. It's the person who fucking had the idea, who put out the project. That is their fault, because they should have started it more. Did that car was gonna have problems? Did they test it correctly? All the mechanic did is put it together the way they instructed to. Same thing with this game. Developers were just told, here's a project, build it. They could announce so many problems. It is up to the owner of the damn project to say, hey, you know what, scrap it, hold it up, everybody, just let's focus on the problem. No, they just said, you know what, we're getting rushed, we need the money, send it.
Yeah,
and that's where the problems come, just from that stupidity of the person responsible for it.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy of everything that's came out for the game, right? Like the game should be receiving a lot of love. Don't get me wrong. Like I think a lot of the hate and a lot of the love that's coming towards the game, all of it is relevant. You know, all of it is supposed to be towards the game because in reality, we all love the way Cyberpunk came out, the different story it has, the different aspect it has. You could also see in my view how many cars are out there. Like on GTA, that's not even how many cars would be out there. Like,
No.
you know, yeah,
That's not counting all the AIs driving and talking, making prod. You can
Yeah.
walk through any street, and these people have better dialogue than GTA 5 characters.
yeah.
You can hear saying,
and no,
"Oh,
not one of
what
them
happened to
has
that?"
the same type of dialogue.
Exactly. One could be saying, "Damn, we're sitting on the ground with that girl. She gave me scabs," and the guy be like, "You need to watch yourself, boy." Instead of this generic shit we get in GTA 5. So stop comparing
Yeah.
it to GTA 5 because it's way above it. This
Yeah,
game
because
has
it also
so much
brought-
advantages.
It has everything. What's funny is that CD Projekt Red set no limits on the game that they brought out. They just said, F society, and we're bringing out whatever the fuck we want.
Oh, yes, this game is
there's
promised.
men, there's women, there's women that look
Dude,
like
they-
men, there's women,
they
men that
stuck to their
like,
words.
there's
there
even
is freedom.
little kids in the game. Like little
Get me
kids.
wrong, you can't kill them. You cannot kill them.
Yeah, you can't
That's
kill
the good thing.
kids. Yeah, you can't kill kids. Can't do anything to them. But there, you can see them. There is kids in the game, and that's something that, like, it in GTA. When GTA was first brought out, that's what they wanted to do in GTA 5, was bring out kids into GTA. But what happened is that the people that made GTA don't know how to stop other people like that want to go on a mass shooting spree to not kill little kids in the game, which CD Projekt Red have been able to do. You know what I mean? So, like, it's just interesting on how much different things they brought into the game, how much, like, whatever's happened. And before I keep on repeating myself, like, now the lawsuits that come into play, they're getting, CD Projekt Red is getting lawsuits from the people that sponsored the game to come out in the beginning. Well, these are the people that kind of rushed them into bringing out the game in the first place. Like, they didn't want the game held up anymore. They wanted, and before, this is just my opinion and nothing more. If anybody wants to try to come at me or whatever, it's nothing more than just an opinion and my own opinion on everything that's already happened.
Remember, guys, it's a review for ourselves.
Like, the
This is what
lawsuit
we're
and
talking
stuff like that, like, I haven't read anything personally on it or whatever. Like, in my own personal opinion, I think they, in the very get-go, they announced the game to be launched at the beginning of the year. Then they launched it to happen in the middle of the year. Then they launched it to happen at the end of the year. Oh, then they had a second end-of-the-year process, which they should have waited until next year. Or vice versa, waited for console versions to launch next year, have PC version launched this year. But regardless of everything that's happened, like, the leadership and the people that are sponsoring the game shouldn't be going after CD Projekt Red for launching a faulty game. It's everybody's fault in the process of the game coming out the way it did. Right? Like, if Sony and Microsoft want to go ahead and make lawsuits towards everybody, go ahead. But when it comes to people that are, dropping money on the game to sponsor it, it's a different story. Right? It's almost like if you're paying money for a brand new project to go to outer space, and basically, people were on that flight or whatever, and it didn't launch properly. Well, are you going to sue the people that created the project or whatever? Technically, no, because you put your own money into it. Now you have to see where, obviously can blame these people, but really doing a lawsuit on them ain't going to really help you out in the process. Just going to hurt more of the outcome of whatever's happened. And the game, when it came out, don't get me wrong, there was a lot of backlash, a lot of, people, but regardless, it still sold 13 million copies of the game within the first, like, 78 hours to like the first week of its launch. Like, it sold 13 million copies, 8 million pre-orders for the game, which the game was expected to sell 16 million copies at launch. Now, the process that brought that down was obviously all the hate that Cyberpunk was getting, all the backlash it was getting brought down some of those numbers. No telling if some of those numbers are going to go up more or not. Maybe later on, maybe a year from now, it'll end up selling, 13, like maybe another 3 to 4 million copies. But for right now, Cyberpunk at where it's at, I don't think, it has 41% of console players bought the game. 50-something% of players actually were on PC that bought the game. Way more than people expected to buy, on console or PC. And I mean, a lot of the hate came towards base gen, which I think base PS4 and base Xbox, it depends on the person's preference, right? Because there's a lot of people that like going back in time, playing that PS1 game, playing the Nintendo 64, playing the Wii U, playing like all these old generations of games. Like even GameCube had some like weird graphics on the game. And I think me and Angel are that type of person where we love certain games back from the old days that are just fucking amazing. That even still to this day, they're, like their games are just amazing. There's nothing, better than it, because there's certain games that we all like. And Cyberpunk, an open world game, I barely started getting into open world games, and Angel can tell you this. I barely started getting into open world games maybe a couple years ago. That's when I first started really getting into open world games and really started loving them more, because the only open world game I would actually play was GTA, and a lot of the times I would fuck around in GTA, cause mass havocs, and destroy all these cars, go on like rampages and stuff like that. But that was in GTA. And I mean, when I started really getting into it was like, Red Dead, what else, Assassin's Creed and stuff like that. And this game itself feels different from all of the ones that we've ever played. And like I said, with all the lawsuits that are going on, with all the backlash it's getting, with all the different reviewers coming out writing their own preference, I've found this review that I don't know if you might have never came across it, Angel, but I found this article that came out maybe about a week ago or whatever, or it might have been yesterday where it came out, but this article written by Wired, and it was this couple that plays Cyberpunk since the day that it came out, and they play games because they want to feel the feeling in the game, feel it, get down and gritty with it and feel the feels it's supposed to have. And the thing that kind of got me was just it got me a little mad was that the game, they said something about the game of it not being 100% good. Obviously the game's not good, but the game's good, but it has no heart. And what they meant by that is that I guess they had a glitch in the game happen to them where, you remember the chip that Jackie's supposed to give you, Angel?
Yeah.
Well, in their playthrough, Jackie didn't give them the chip. Jackie gave him his weapon in their playthrough that they got. I guess they got a glitch where, it's supposed to be a special moment, like one of those heartfelt moments where Jackie's in the back seat and he's supposed to give you the chip, but instead he ended up in their playthrough ended up giving them a weapon, and they were just and then that's how they started hating on the game. Was just wait, her husband pointed it out to her, and she was just she had to make a review on the game or whatever, and be and this or that. I'm just no, what the fuck? Like, just because of that one moment, they disregarded the rest of the game, and like they said, like even though they play the game day in day out, but they're always angry when they play the game. They're never happy. I'm just like, that's crazy. That is some crazy like opinion and reference that should not be in an article in the first place. And don't get me wrong, they might have went into more details of why this, why that, but when it came down to it, it was all like their own personal playthrough. They might have had a bad experience with Cyberpunk because of certain glitches that have happened prior to patches being put into place, and it, in my opinion, it was just a bad article. And I don't know how do you feel about that, Angel?
I think it's stupid, but just it's always been the same thing, no matter what the situation. Always gonna be something like that where people are so biased because they don't want to stick around to find out if they're gonna fix it or you know, if it was just an accident that happened once. They was just like, yeah, Karen, or what's the fucking guy version Kyle. They're like, fuck this game, blah blah blah. It's always been the same thing, and it pisses me off because it gives bad cred to good games. This game is fucking awesome. I'm fucking enjoying it. Every single thing that's happening, I've always enjoyed it. No matter what I'm doing, it's fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, and that's what's funny is that like, you know, certain people have came out that like, you know, that are even YouTube reviewers and people that have like literally get on the game and they fucking investigate the game 24/7, make videos on the game 24/7 about like, you know, how to find this, how to find that, where's this at, where's that at, what's the best critique, what's the best thing to use and stuff. And some of them have, you know, came out their own opinion, said like, you know, some of the stuff has started feeling stale to them and stuff like that. When you're playing the game almost 100 hours, certain stuff do start feeling stale to you. But if you don't take breaks from that game and you're just playing the game 24/7, and that's basically, you know, you're a YouTuber and that's your life is to like fucking get into the game regardless if it's an open world game that you love or whatever, and you decide to play 100 hours straight, let's just say that, and you don't take any times between that to like, you know, give the game to calm down or whatever and just come back and find something new, yeah, it starts getting stale after a while. It's happened with me in Red Dead. It's happened to me in GTA. It's happened to me in Call of Duty. Is one of the worst fucking scenarios where Call of Duty does get stale very fucking fast. This game can get stale on you only if you play it for a certain amount of hours. Alright, like if you play more than 8 hours of the game, it's gonna start getting stale on you. And that's in one run. Now, to me, nothing of the game has made me stale, and I've already uploaded almost 12 videos on the game. Already 12 videos on the game. Almost going to be 13, maybe later on today or tomorrow. And nothing has felt stale to me. Nothing has felt the same exact type of thing that I'm going in. Now, there is some scenarios where there is shooting, like almost every single side story, every single interaction that I've had has felt different than the next. Like I can go into right now, these people that are watching in my video, you know, in the live stream or video, and you see these people that have arrows on top of them. I can go in there, kill these guys if I wanted to, or I can go in there, do it stealthily, and kill these guys. And, you know, it doesn't feel the same as the ones before. Like, I can kill them, go to another place, kill them. But it doesn't feel the same. Like, if you do it different ways, do it differently, like, everything is... Like, this game, to me, has been a big waking moment to, like, you know... Just because I'm playing on PS4 Pro, I can just imagine how much better it is on PS5 or on PC. And when I see those different, you know, those different boundaries in the game, regardless on what system I'm playing it on, I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it way more than I've loved a lot of the other games that have came out. Like Red Dead, to me, a lot of people, when Red Dead came out, it could have been one of the biggest hitters this past year. And you've heard me say this, Angel. It could have been Red Dead could have been one of the biggest hitters compared to GTA 5 in the past, and it just wasn't because of how slow Rockstar has picked up the game and how slow they've, just wanted to focus on GTA. Regardless on this one, like they're focusing on the game, plus they also have a separate big fucking team that's creating an open world version of Cyberpunk to play multiplayer on. That's fucking insane. Like, regardless of how many, backlash lawsuits that they're going to be getting or whatever, they're still working on trying to fix the game regardless. And I think if we see the DLC in the future be, regardless if it comes out 6 months from now or if it comes out a year from now, it's going to be fucking amazing, because I don't think they're going to bring out DLC that's broken as what they just brought out with the game. You know what I mean?
And to give a better example, I'm just driving around right now, and I found a random car crash that I wanted to, take. And there's a story. This dude has a story. Every chip you pick up has a story. This dude had a chip saying, a conversation with his girl. Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna come back to you tonight. I'm sorry, I'm gonna make it up to you. He got high and drunk and crashed into the wall. There's a whole fucking scene and a chip to explain what happened here. When the hell do you see that in GTA 5?
That is true.
When do you see that in any other game? This thing took its time to make random shit like this all over the fucking map. And look how big the fucking map is. Look, this is just a small section of a big ass map. I haven't even gone over here. Or over here. It proves to show this is a big ass game that was ambitious as fuck but rushed. That's all it was rushed.
Yep.
And that's the only reason the game didn't come out perfect like everybody wanted to.
Yeah, and what's funny is that Angel might be in a better place than I am. Pretty much in the slums
No,
of Cyberpunk. No, I mean, I'm in Pacifica right now, and
where am I?
This is a place that doesn't have any cops patrolling it. Has only a gang protecting this part of the city or whatever.
Oh, I'm in Watson.
Yeah, and I mean, you're in a better place than I am to basically project the game, but everything that's happened here, I've seen nothing but shootouts, people fighting each other. Like, just right now, you just saw somebody die, and this is basically a scenario that I can come in and do if I wanted to. But I haven't done it yet because I don't want to, my game volume is loud. So, that's why it's just okay, I'm going to take, just watch what's going on. I can just sit back and let what's ever happened happen and not even kill these guys. But I am, after this, she's going to end up, dude, I can do it with knives. Look, I'll show you the way the knives look when I knife somebody. And I mean, look at that. It feels good though. Like these knifing things feel so amazing. And I mean, oh, I died. I pretty much died right in front of you. But you see, and even that, it doesn't take away from the game, and I mean, it's crazy on how much different things are added into the game. There's loading screens. If you want to fast travel, you have a freaking loading screen. If you go into an elevator, there's no loading screens like GTA or whatever. Everything fits together in a whole aspect. If you want to sit in a fucking car while going to a mission with somebody, you could either skip the talking in the game, because while you're going in the car, you can actually talk to the person that's driving the car, or if you're driving, they can be sitting right next to you talking. That's what's different in this game, is that, let's say you're right halfway across the map and the mission's on the other side of the map. You're driving with somebody that's either a main story character, side story character. you can talk to them while you're going to the mission, and y'all talk about different fucking things. Y'all can talk about the mission. Y'all can talk about each other's life. Like, everything interacts with each other. And what's funny is that I've also experienced certain different things that have happened in my side missions that I've already done, or what I've already done around the world, that people end up talking to me about.
Sorry.
In
Game
video.
just crashed.
Oh.
Cyberpunk just crashed.
Oh, damn.
Sorry, people. Sorry.
So if it crashed, the video just ended for you.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm saying sorry because it's on your side.
Yeah. So, this is where, on that note, this is basically where I'm going to end this one at. And, me and Tianchi, this is our honest reviews on Cyberpunk 2077. Obviously, we talked a lot about, you know, what was good, what was bad, and we talked about...
I'm gonna summarize it in my way. Game is fucking awesome. Storyline is fucking awesome. Made me cry as soon as Jack died. So far, I haven't gone past because I'm gonna do that meme where I'm gonna do side missions and then come to the final missions, main missions. OP as fuck. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do that. But so far, every gunfight is different for me so far. There's so many things you can do. You can hide every single body and get away with it, or have a shootout. This game is awesome. I really love it. I really like everything that's gone into it. The music, the damn details they took. I did an Easter egg where the guitar fucking fingering on the damn strings and on the location, everything was on point. So, as much as everybody wants to complain, I think this game was good. I think this game is good. There's a lot of things wrong with it, yes. But it's a really, really big, ambitious game. I think so far outdone any other game I played so far. Let's try this. It needs a lot of work. But just like anything good, anything that's good, it's always gonna need work. My final decision, this game is good. It just really needs a lot of love. And not so much hate. We're gamers. We gotta stick together with this bullshit. It's just fucking getting sick and tired of this bullshit. It's always gonna be the same thing. True gamers understand the complexity and the presence that comes with a game that gets love instead of hate.
True. And what I am gonna say is that, in my own personal opinion, if you go back onto the way The Witcher 3 was launched, it was launched the same way as Cyberpunk. Witcher 3 didn't get a lot of hate like Cyberpunk has gotten. But if you look back on that game when it first came out to now, that game is fucking amazing to play. No bugs, nothing on it, because when it first came out, it was buggy as fuck. When this game comes out, you know, this game is already out, and it's been buggy as all can be. But if you noticed, the first week, they brought out a patch. The next week, they brought out another patch. The next week, which was already now, you know, this past week, they brought out a patch. They're going to bring out another patch in January. They're bringing out consistent patches in January and February on PC more and on console. Console versions are getting the biggest patches in January and February, and PC is getting continuous patches because they do have some big bugs that, you know, not a lot of people talk about. And this game, compared to a lot of other games that have tried to do this, tried to do everything on this aspect, it's just fucking amazing. All around 100, in my opinion, it's a 10 out of 10 game. It could have been more than that to me. It could have been a 20 out of 10 game. But because some of the different aspects were like, you know, were, you know, we expected them at launch to be where, you know, set a certain bar and then go above that, which they were below the bar, and then now they're just meeting that bar to maybe pass that bar, right? And don't get me wrong, Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red is a good a good AAA, considered a AAA developer, AAA game developer, and they're amazing. They don't deserve all the hate. There is a lot of hate going towards their way, a lot of stuff that's happened, and in my personal preference, I think CD Projekt Red and whatever they're saying and whatever they're doing it okay, and I think they are going to bounce back from everything that's happened to them. And I think Cyberpunk, what's funny is that it's going to end up bouncing back 10 times harder than it's already been. You know what I mean? And whatever happens in the future with Cyberpunk, I'm still going to be part of it. I'm a big fucking fan now of Cyberpunk. And a huge fucking fan of what's going on with CD Projekt Red, because I still haven't even finished The Witcher 3, and I'm still 2-3 hours into The Witcher 3. And I mean, that's still the beginning of the game. I'm still not that far. With Cyberpunk, I'm maybe 10-20 hours into the game, and I've only played maybe half of the game so far. And that's because I'm looking around the map, finding everything that's interesting, finding everything that's so raw in the game and makes it what it is. And, you know, in the future, we're going to see something big with this game. And I think there's still a lot of people that love the game and expect it to bounce back, which it will. And on that note, what I am going to say is, if you've enjoyed watching this video, and when you were, you know, it is a live stream right now, but if you were enjoyed watching this as a video, hit that like button on my video, or even Angel's video. Hit that subscribe button if you're a brand new person, and hit that notification bell, so that way you can be notified when I live stream or upload videos, and when Angel does the exact same thing. And like always, guys, and like always, we love you guys for supporting our channels, for being here for us, for watching our videos. If it just randomly erupts, you know, getting like, you know, crashing or whatever on certain games. But we love you guys from the bottom of our hearts for coming to our channel, regardless of how many subscribers we have, regardless of how many views we're getting. We love all you guys, and like always, we'll talk to you guys later.
Have a good